Don't want me to fix the servers? Fine. First time posting in this sub. Cross-posting because I was told you might enjoy this. Background. Sometime around 2000, I worked for a major finance brokerage company in the IT department. I worked the overnight shift alone and, among other things, my responsibilities included monitoring of the company's most important servers, including the trading servers, as well as performing almost all repairs on these servers since my shift was the least impactful on business. These servers were how every trade from every broker worldwide was processed on behalf of clients. We had 8 servers all behind a load director. For those non-IT people, think traffic at an intersection with a cop letting vehicles know which way they can go. At the time, I reported directly to one of the assistant vice presidents for IT, cast as simply me, Dawn, AVP, and Kathy, VP. So at some point doing my job, I began to notice issues with our trading servers. I determined the cause, come up with the plan to repair the failing parts. On the first night of the week, I will take down 2 servers, repair them, bring them back up, and put them back behind the load director. I will repeat this for the next 3 nights, allowing all 8 servers to be repaired with minimal impact, and have the last night of the week in case anything goes the way of the toilet. Understand that while I had authority to do this with just about any of the other 1,000 plus servers the company had, I could not touch these without the Dawn's approval. So I sent an email to the Dawn detailing the problem, the parts I needed to order, the plan, etc. All I needed from her was a response that said, approved, and I would have everything completed within 2 weeks. Also note that I had read receipts turned on for all my emails. As you can probably guess, I heard nothing back. 2 weeks later I follow up with another email reminding her of the issue and including all the documentation I had sent with the first one. Nothing. Another 2 weeks go by and I send a second follow-up email noting that this isn't a question of if these machines will fail but only a matter of when. Crickets. Another 2 weeks go by. It is now about noon on Friday and I am home having just begun my weekend. I get a call that goes something like this. Me. Hello? Kathy. Is this Morpheus J? Me. Yes. Kathy. This is Kathy. Me. Who? When I am off the clock, that part of brain turns off. LOL. Kathy. It's Kathy. Your boss. Me. Oh. Hey Kathy. What's? Oh, this cannot be good. I am now realizing that my boss's boss is calling me at my house and that all the excrement must have followed an upward trajectory towards the device circulating air. Kathy. All the trading servers have crashed. We need everyone on hand. Me. I'll be there in 20 minutes. It was usually a 35-minute drive. Basically, one server crashed and the load from that server was transferred to the remaining 7, which caused number 2 to fail under the increased load. Rinse and repeat for all 8 servers. I arrived at work to find the entire team is there with 8 brand new servers ready to be built. We get everything built, locked down, restored from latest backups, and online again by 6 p.m. Then home for the weekend. I get to work Sunday night, my Monday, and the first thing I do is print out emails and those oh so precious read receipts. I place them in a nice folder on the corner of my desk. At 7 a.m. Monday morning, end of my shift, Kathy walks into my office and asks me to join her in her office. I say sure and grab the folder and follow her. When we get to her office, present are me, Kathy, Dawn, and a lady from HR. Kathy. So, Morpheus J. I understand from Dawn that it is your job to monitor the trading servers. Can you tell me what happened? Me. Sure. Opens folder. As you can see from this email dated XXXXXX, highlighted for your convenience, I notified Dawn of the problem and requested approval to go ahead with the fix. Here. Opens folder again. Is the read receipt showing she read it the following morning at XX a.m. Again. Highlighted for your convenience. Rinse and repeat for the other emails. Kathy. Okay. Thank you, Morpheus J. Have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Fallout. The company lost a stupid amount of money making good on every single trade that didn't happen due to the crash. I came back to work that night to find out from the team that Dawn was gone. I never told them the details. I was assigned to the backup contingency planning team and later to the team that implemented the BCP so that something like this would never happen again. We got a new AVP. Edit. Thanks for the gold ticket updated. Please unsubscribe me added to your ticket. I knew I was going to have a fun day the day I looked at my inbox and saw a ticket updated. Please unsubscribe me added to your ticket with 700 CC recipients from my help desk, followed by ticket created. Thank for your message. I am out of the office until the 15th with the same 700 CC recipients. That's right. Before I even had my cup of coffee that morning, someone had included the help desk ticket creation email on their to-list on a company-wide, including contractors, email, and people all over the country had begun responding to the tickets with unsubscribe me, and worse, automated out-of-office messages. I shut down email ticket generation on our ticketing system in record time. But it was already generating 15 tickets to auto-replies per minute. I had to clear that inbox completely and wait 2 hours before I could re-enable ticketing via email request. We had 1,900 tickets generated that morning, versus our normal 80 or so per day. My ticket closure rate metrics for the whole month were glorious from setting all of those to resolved as quickly as I could click on them. I also finally got permission to block all external senders into our help desk, and to add the head of HR as moderator on all staff at company.com, so those emails would not go through unless approved. So in the long run, I feel like I was the real winner here. Never forget about rule number 1. For context, I do tech support for one of the big banks in Europe. We support around a dozen apps, websites and the like. We also support a banking software aimed at medium to large businesses. Let's call it $crap. So, a wild customer appeared. Me, this is Lupo from $crap support. What can I help you with? Cool. Hey, I use $crap on my laptop and I'm sending the computer in for repairs. Is there any possibility to get the login protected by a password or something like that? Me, wait a sec. You can't even disable the login prompt, because it's required to be there by law. If you aren't using a password to log in, how do you even open the program? Cool. What do you mean? I just click the icon and I'm in. Of course. Why did I even ask? Me, can we do a team viewer session? Cool. Sure, but can't you just tell me how to enable it? Me, sure, if you tell me what magic you are using to log in without a password in the first place. I just want to see your login procedure first. Team viewer starts. Customer starts $crap. Login window appears. Who enters credentials? Me. Stop. What are you doing right now? Cool. I entered my. Oh shit. I guess I totally wasted your time. A failed application, one size fits all. 250 broken telephony reports. And the sudden realization that no money has been saved as IT never paid for that system in the first place. Some context for you. The company in question has around 3,500 staff, grouped into about 25 business units, spread across about 20 sites. There are 3 service desk teams, each supporting some of the business units. There are 7 telephony systems across the company, 5 of them with call recording systems hooked in. 5 of these telephony systems and 4 of these call recording systems are supported by head office. The final 2 telephony systems are supported by the team I'm on, one of which has a call recording system linked to it, which we also support. One problem with this call recording software was that elements of the UI used Flash. The system had been around for a long time and undergone a few upgrades, but the last one was about 5 or 6 years prior to the events I'm about to recall for your entertainment. Another fun fact, it only worked in Internet Explorer, not Chrome, Firefox or Edge. Our local business unit, who relied on the call recording system quite heavily, had been pushing for an upgrade for some time, but Group IT kept saying no. That was until the CIO ordered a review of all systems and services used across the company, with the intention of eliminating any traces of Flash from our infrastructure. Finally, we were getting an upgrade. It's also worth mentioning that the call recording system was originally implemented by our local business unit, back when they had their own internal IT team, before their internal IT was merged with the Group IT. Even though we still spent 90% of their time supporting just them, had contracts that differed from Group IT, had bonuses based on local business unit performance rather than group-wide performance, etc. We still officially reported to Group IT, perhaps a decade after the system had been purchased. Other business units decided they wanted to start recording phone calls, so Group IT opted to go with the same system we used, albeit a newer version, with fewer features licensed. 4 new systems were set up, linked into 4 of the other phone systems across the group. These were all supported by the service desk team in head office. Around this time, a new service delivery manager came in and wasn't happy that there were 3 service desk teams supporting different business units. He wanted all the teams supporting all the users across the business. He wanted duplicate systems removed or merged and maintained centrally. He wanted device and systems configurations unified across the group. He was chasing a one-size-fits-all approach to IT, so when the decision to upgrade the systems was made, the task of coordinating it was given to the central projects team, and my team leader was assigned to the project to advise them of our requirements, risks, etc. For background, she was useless, and even more so when it came to projects. In one instance several months earlier, I had been taken off a project when it was moved to the central team and she was put on in my place. After a few months of the same issues cropping up over and over, I asked to see the issues register for the project. She didn't know what that was. It turned out she hadn't reported any of the issues we'd encountered, or reported any of the remedial works we'd been performing to the project manager over the course of the project. But whatever, I've got no involvement in the project, so don't really give it any thought. The week of the upgrade finally comes around and the new systems are run alongside the existing ones for a week. We receive confirmation from the project manager that user acceptance testing has been a resounding success and that they're ready to deactivate the existing servers and switch over to the new ones. This switchover happened on a Tuesday evening. On the Wednesday morning, I get in at 8 a.m. to find that all the wallboards are down. I report this to my team leader, who has decided to work from home as she was apparently up until 2 a.m. copying the config over from the old system. I'm a little confused by this, as surely this was done while the old and new systems were running side by side. I mean, how do you do UAT on a system that has no config? But whatever, she says the wallboards just need logging into and pointing to the new server, which confuses me further because the wallboards are provided by our business unit's CRM. It is the CRM that links into the call recording software, and I don't have access to the CRM config. She tells me to raise it with the developers. So I do. Edit. I later discovered that projects had only tested 2 of the 4 systems. The phone systems the recording system were linked into were running 2 different versions, so they tested the recording software on one system for each phone system version. Our site's phone system was on the same version as another site's, and the other site was chosen for testing rather than ours. Me, hey, lead developer. Have you had any reports about the wallboards not showing call stats? Lead developer. Yeah, the call recording server is down. I'll ask infrastructure engineer to have a look when he's in. Me, the server isn't exactly down. It's been taken offline. The call recording system was upgraded last week and switched over last night. Here's the new server address. Lead developer. Give me a few minutes. A few minutes go by and I start getting phone calls from managers about call stat reports not being received. I try logging into the new call recording system and find I don't have permissions to the reporting section. So I drop a message to my team leader, who tells me to ask the head office team for access. I send them a message on Teams and log into Barracuda with my auditor credentials to see if I could find out if any reports have been sent. The last report had been emailed at 6:30 p.m. the previous day, from the old system. None had been sent from the new one. And then I get a reply from the head office team leader. What reporting section? Now a little information on the reports that this system generated. Most other business units had reports generated by the BI team, but our business unit used the call recording system. Team leaders and managers had permissions in the old system to generate scheduled reports, to be sent hourly, daily, weekly, or monthly, that could be run on extensions or groups that they had access to view stats on. This meant that a team leader could only generate a report for individuals in their team, or their team collectively. Meanwhile, managers could create reports for anyone in the teams they managed. Finally, the operations manager and a couple of analysts had access to create reports on any group or extension that existed within the system. There were about 250 reports in all, Some used purely to give managers visibility of what their teams were doing. Others used to gauge performance for bonuses, which were awarded to some teams every other week. There were reports for which numbers were calling us the most, some targeting new employees, some targeting employees that were under review. While the business probably didn't need all 250 reports, a few were critical to the business at an operational level, so getting them restored was a big deal. So I called the head office team leader, $HOTL. Me, hey $HOTL, there should be a reporting section in the phone system. The permission group is called reporting admin, $HOTL. I've never seen that section before, and you have global admin on your system. That will give you all the admin permissions. Me, I don't think you had the reporting module on your systems, but we had it on ours. And you're right, if I have global admin, I should be able to see the module. $HOTL. What was it for? Me, it tracked call stats. It let you run reports for calls and talk time and stuff for extensions and groups. $HOTL. Why did you need that? The BI team generates call reports. Me, it's just how it always was. Our CRM linked into the reporting module for wallboards too. $HOTL. Why does your team always have to do things differently to everyone else? Me, because our team started using this system before everyone else. $HOTL. Well, now all our systems are the same. If we don't have the reporting system, then you probably don't either. Me, so what do I tell the business now that all their reports are gone and the wallboards are broken? $HOTL. Talk to Service Desk Manager. FFS. As I get off the call, the lead developer tells me the same thing. Lead developer. I don't think the new system has the call reporting system. Me. No, I just found out it doesn't. Lead developer. So what now? Me. Can you replace the call stats section of the wallboard to say that it's broken and IT is looking into it? Lead developer. How is Group ITF get it all up again? Call stats will be back shortly. Me. I'm not sure about the shortly bit. Lead developer. I was feeling optimistic. He put a clean message up with an open time scale for the fix, and I called my team leader again, who also said that I should talk to the service desk manager. So I spoke to the service desk manager, who said that all call report requests should go to the BI team, and that is how it has always been. I told him that our business unit had previously run reports from the call recording system. He reiterated that requests need to go to the BI team and that no such requirement was given during the project meetings. Thanks, team leader. So I called the BI team and asked if they were able to generate call reports from our phone system. They said they could, but they'd need details of the reports needing generating. Well, this will be fun. I hopped into vSphere and booted the old recording server up, exported a list of all the reports, and did a bulk run now on all the reports. While this was happening, I got a call from a senior systems engineer, the central infrastructure team. I'll call him $bro because he was pretty cool. $bro. Hey, escape to the mountains. Did you just online the old call recording server? Me. Yeah, sorry about that. I need to export some config information that wasn't copied over to the new system. $bro. Wasn't. Team leader. Up until 2 a.m. copying all that over? Me. She was. But she skipped all the call reports. $bro. Why would she forget to copy over the call reports? Me. Because she forgot to tell projects our system had a call reporting module. So projects never bought the call reporting module. $bro. How many reports were there? Me. Around 250. $bro. Oh, me. Our wallboards also rely on the call reporting module, so they're all down to $bro. Oh, me. Yeah, $bro. So why are you exporting the details for the reports if you can't set them up in the new system? Me, service desk manager, told me to send the details over to BI team to recreate. $bro. You expect them to create 250 reports for you? Me, no, I expect them to buy the call reporting license. $bro. Ah, but, next time, can you warn us before you turn a server online? Me. If I had asked, would you have said yes? $bro. That's not the point. Me. If I had asked, would you have asked why? $bro. Probably not. Me. So if I had asked, you wouldn't have found out how my morning is going. $bro. Just warn me next time. Once I had a list of all the reports exported and examples of each report generated, I saved them to the shared drive, shut the server back down, and popped upstairs to see to one of the business analysts. I bumped into the business unit's managing director on the way, who said she was on the way to the lead developer to ask him about the wallboards and missing reports. I told her that there was a problem with the call recording server upgrade that had taken place overnight and that she'd get an email from one of her business analysts that she will need to pass on to the BI team. MD, why do I need to pass it on to the BI team? Me, Group IT or projects or whoever was responsible for the upgrade never bought the call reporting module. I've been advised by Service Desk Manager that requests for call reports now need to go to the BI team. MD, and how long do you expect that to take? We need those reports now. Me, it would probably take the BI team months, if they can do it at all, but I'm counting on them not doing it at all, which is why the email requesting the reports needs to come from you. MD, how does that? You want Group to buy the reporting module? Me, no, the BI team will want Group to buy the reporting module. MD, because I'm going to demand the reports be created today, which they cannot do. Me, smiles. MD, did lead developer tell you to do this? Me, no, but I would like to say I've been inspired by him. MD, smiles. I eventually get to the business analyst and we start working through the list of reports. We decide to separate them all into groups, based on how essential they are. The ones used to inform staff bonuses went into the highest priority group, which we marked as needing to be completed by midday on Thursday. That was about 27 hours away. We also threw some of the global reports, i.e., reporting on all incoming and outgoing calls, and the repeat incoming call ones into this group. The group totaled around 70 reports. We then had about 60 into a second group that we marked for completion within a week, about 40 marked for completion within 2 weeks, and the remaining 80 for completion within a month. The business analyst writes this up into an email, attaching the CSV with the report configs to the email, and linking to a folder containing the 250 example reports that he saved in his section of the shared drive. We call up the MD and he forwards it over to her. The MD then forwarded it over to the head of BI, with the business analyst CC'd in. A reply comes back about 5 minutes later saying they'll need to arrange a call as such a request could take months. The MD replied to say that was unacceptable, with the CEO, CIO, Service Delivery Manager, Service Desk Manager, Head of Project, the Project Manager involved in the project, the Business Analyst, and my team leader CC'd in, stressing the importance of these reports to the business. I was still sat with the Business Analyst, so I got to see the Lung CC field in all its glory, and, thankfully, my name didn't come up once, though. Unfortunately, it did make its way back to me. The service desk manager found out that I raised the issue with my team leader and the head office team leader, and I ended up getting conferenced into a call about an hour later. Oddly enough, my team leader was absent from the call. Service Delivery Manager, hi, escape to the mountains. We need to understand what is going on with the call reports and you seem to know more than anyone else in IT about it. Service Desk Manager, yes. Apparently you've been maintaining 250 reports for your business unit. Who asked you to do that? We aren't budgeted to provide that support. Me, hi all. I'm sorry you only found out about this requirement for the recording system now. I can confirm that the business unit had around 250 scheduled reports configured in the old recording system, but we don't really support it. Service Desk Manager, what do you mean? You don't really support it? It's an IT system. Who creates the reports? Team leader, said she doesn't. Me, did she not explain that the business unit create the reports themselves? Service Desk Manager, no? Why are they doing that? They shouldn't have admin access to the system. It's an IT system. Who authorized you to give users admin access to the recording system? Me, they didn't have admin access. They had reporting access. There were 3 levels of permissions for reports: admin, creator, and viewer. Team leaders and managers had creator permissions, so they are able to create scheduled reports. And then, Service Delivery Manager, this sounds like a security risk. What is stopping a team leader from listening to their manager's calls? Me. Recording and reporting have separate permissions. And, as I was going to say, Service Desk Manager, how much time are you spending setting these permissions? CIO, can everyone please let Escape to the Mountain say what he needs to say? And can someone get projects on this call? Me. Thank you. CIO. So we enter each phone extension into the system, and then put each extension into a group, and link the extension to a user. We flag each extension in each team as an agent, team leader, or manager. We then set recording and reporting permissions in each group. For example, in Team A, Team A agents have access to their own recordings and no reporting. Team A team leaders have access to all Team A agent recordings and Team A agent and team leader reporting. And Team A managers have access to all Team A recordings and reporting. So if an agent in Team A gets promoted to a team leader, we go into the group and flag them as a team leader and their access is updated automatically. This is part of our joiner, leaver and transfer process, which you, Service Desk Manager, recently signed off on when we updated it a few months ago. CIO, what about access for people that aren't in Team A? Me. We can also grant individual users permissions to recordings and reports for each group. I would show you, but that functionality isn't included in the new system, and the old system is offline. But there are very few people with access to recordings outside their own teams, just the senior managers and directors, and the business analysts, but they only have reporting access. CIO, and you said there are also creator and viewer permissions for reports? Me. Yes, these are set at a user level, so agents have no reporting permissions. Most team leaders have report viewer permissions, and some team leaders and all managers have report creator permissions, but they can only view and create reports for groups they have reporting access to. If the Team B team leader tries to run a report on Team A, it will show no results as they don't have access to query Team A's call stats. So even if we accidentally gave an agent user reporting permissions, all reports would be blank as they don't have any reporting permissions to each group. CIO, and you don't spend time supporting this at all, just creating extensions, users and setting permissions. Me. If the disk space on the server fills up, the reports will fail to run, so we delete some old reports off the server. And when the SMTP relay address changed last year, the report stopped working as well, so we had to fix that. But for individual reports, no, we don't touch them. That's all done by the business. CIO. Thank you. So, Service Delivery Manager. Why didn't we purchase a call reporting license for business units? Instance, Service Delivery Manager. The requirement was never raised with us and we had never paid for it in the past. CIO. So, business unit was getting the module for free? Service Delivery Manager. I would presume so. Project Manager. Sorry to interrupt. The module wasn't free. Business unit. We're paying for it. Service Delivery Manager. Why were business unit paying for it? Project Manager. Because they had always paid for their instance, both the car license and the reporting module license. I found out that the PM only found this out 15 minutes before getting onto the call. Silence. Me, business unit, have had this system since at least 2004, back when they had their own IT department. The rest of the group only adopted the system 6 or 7 years ago, after their IT was absorbed into the group. I guess administration of the system moved over to IT, but the bills still went to them. But that's why we were on an older version to the rest of the group. There was a newer version out when the other systems were set up and ours was never upgraded. Service Delivery Manager. But now we pay for it. Project Manager. Yes, I believe so. All 4 systems are under one contract. Service Delivery Manager. But we paid for 4 systems before, and we pay for 4 systems now. So that doesn't add up. Service Desk Manager. The system at Site E wasn't upgraded. It was decommissioned. Silence. Me. Am I still needed on this call? Shall I go and tell business unit that they can cancel their contract for the recording system? CIO. We will handle that. Service Delivery Manager. Can we order a reporting license for business unit? Service Delivery Manager. I'll contact the vendor now. CIO. Thank you. Escape to the mountains. I think we have everything we need. Thanks for your support to the business this morning. Me. No problem. Let me know if you need anything else. The reporting module was installed later that day and my team leader was tasked with creating the 250 reports. I didn't hear from her at all the next day, so I guess she was up all night and slept through the day. It was quite a peaceful day, actually, and the wallboards were working when I got in. Turns out the lead developer put a piece of code into wallboard thingy so the message would only appear when the reporting endpoint returned an error. Otherwise it would display the call stats as intended. I love that guy. Please remove me from this mailing list. I work in a laboratory at a veterinary school at a medium-large university. Like many organizations, we have a multitude of mailing lists. Personally, I'm subscribed to Happenings, which is used to disseminate information about events and alerts. Research, which is underutilized. And CVMBB, the bulletin board that is used for anything from I found this dog to I'm selling this stuff to I know this is a long shot, but does anyone have an EEPROM reader? Which I did. This last mailing list is the most widely used one, and it frequently sees a dozen or more messages in a day. I still subscribe to it because I found some good deals there in the past, and I would rather not risk missing out on something. Also, I can't express how satisfying it was to find someone in need of the USB EEPROM reader that I had carried in my backpack for a couple of years. But I digress. About once a year, I see a flurry of mailing list reply all responses saying, "Please remove me from this list." As you might expect, it only takes one person to make several others do the same thing. At first, I would ignore them. Later, I tried responding to the list explaining how users could log into the web console and manage their subscription preferences. This might help, but it would start up again the following semester. Finally, I wrote an Outlook VBA macro and assigned it to a menu button to automatically post a sender's email address to the web form that unsubscribes them from whatever mailing list they're responding to. It doesn't actually unsubscribe them until they click the link in the confirmation email to log into the list management dashboard. But as far as I can tell, they don't actually know the difference. They just say, "Please remove me from this list." They get a confirmation email with a link to click, and then when they click it, they're unsubscribed. I don't even bother to say anything to them anymore. What makes it even better is that I don't actually work in the IT department. I'm technically just another user on the mailing list, but I pity them and take the necessary steps to accomplish what they apparently can't. No, PoE doesn't work like that. First post from a long-time lurker. So I work in tech support for a variety of Wi-Fi and network systems, hotels, dorms, apartment buildings, store chains. And that brings a lot of stories. Nearly all get a laugh. But living through most killed part of my soul and what's left of my faith in humanity, obligatory TLDR warning . This story takes place a day after Hurricane Michael swept through Panama City, Florida, so we weren't expecting a call from any store or hotel in the area. Power was out all over as far as we knew, so it was a little shocking to hear from an employee from a higher-end men's clothing store call in about network issues, stating he needed the store up and running. Here's what followed. Me is me, E is employee, RG is regional manager, E, hey, yeah, look we have clients coming in today for pickup. I need the network backup. Me, clients? Sir, are you sure? Didn't a hurricane just come through? ESO? I have a business to run, and these are high-paying customers. Help me get the network up. Me, I'm happy to try, if I can. Does your store have power? E, scoffs no. But the network doesn't need power to work. Me, eyes wide, mouth agape, looking at my phone with a WTF expression. Excuse me, sir, could you repeat that? E, I said the network doesn't get power, not from the power company anyway. You should know this, being tech support. Me, sir, I can guarantee, beyond the shadow of a doubt, that the network absolutely gets power from the power company. E, do you think I'm stupid? I thankfully held my tongue. The network is powered by the internet, like home phones are powered by the phone company. You know, PoE, power over Ethernet? So help me get the network back up. Me, SMH while my soul dies a bit more sir. Any and all phone companies get power from the power company. The internet is powered by the power company. PoE is for devices designed to get power from a main source that's plugged into the wall. Getting power from the power company. E. You just don't want to help me. What am I supposed to tell the customers who are coming in for their clothes? Me. Do you honestly expect people to come out after a major hurricane for clothes? E. It was just a storm. They'll be here. Now help me get the network up. I have a flashlight and in the back. What cords do I unplug? Me. Sir. Respectfully. But I can't help you. There's not power to the store, and unplugging anything will be pointless until power is restored. E. You're refusing to help me? Me. Yes. Gods. It still feels good I could say that, not because I don't want to help you, but because I can't. E. Get me your supervisor. Now. Me. Yes sir. Of course. I placed Genius on hold, and turned to my boss. Her desk is next to my station and heard the whole thing. She not once looked up and just said, "Nope. Hell no. I won't waste my time. Tell him to call back when there's power." Needless to say, that part of the conversation went smashingly. He hung up in a trash of anger and swear words, and I noted my ticket accordingly. Boss lady just shook her head as I snickered about the level of smart the employee lacked. Flash forward 20 minutes later, and I was the lucky winner of getting the call from the regional manager of E. I answer my standard greeting and I could hear the sneer of the RG on the other end. RG, oh, good. Now I don't have to ask for you. Would you mind explaining to me why am I getting a call from me explaining that you refused to help him? Me, did he tell you why I refused? RG, yes. He said you refused to help him get his network online after he called in informing you it was down. Me, did he also inform you that the store is without power? And according to the latest reports, power could be down in Panama City for the next 48 hours. RG, excuse me? Wait, what? I advise RG of the conversation, and my supervisor refusing to speak with E due to the lack of power at the store. I swear, you could hear RG slumping shoulders over the phone. RG, he actually thinks that's how PoE works? You've got to be kidding me. Me, sir, I wish I was. As I told you, I tried to explain it to E, but they refused to listen. He demanded I get the network up due to people coming in to pick up their clothes. RG, he literally expects people to come in? After a hurricane? Me, yes sir, but he said it was just a storm. RG, well, I'm over in Biloxi right now, so I'm not fully aware of the full extent of anything there. Look, let me get off here. I'm gonna call E and have a talk with him. The call ended and I was kinda sad I couldn't listen in on that conversation. A couple days later, on my off day, E called in and got his network up after the power was restored. My coworker who took the call messaged me about it and said he sounded like a kid who's been grounded for 2 months. Utterly defeated. One of the few times I wish I could have been in the office to take a call. He called my competitor's tech support with me on the line. Me, support technician for a complicated POS system. Client, business owner calling me for help. Other IT, competing POS system technician made of Stardust. Mapping software. A live map of where drivers are that is often displayed on a large secondary screen for convenience. It was a regular day. Taking calls. Fixing the horrifying mess others left behind. Phone rings again. I accept. Client, I have major issue also. My mapping portion of software isn't displaying on second screen. I proceed to start troubleshooting the critical issue, and fix it almost immediately. Then, checking every setting and fiddlebit for mapping software. That's strange. It truly should be working. There are no error messages in the logs and I can see it working properly in several places. 60 minutes of trying every trick I can think of, including bouncing it off the only 2 of 25 people I trust to have an idea. Still nothing, except sometimes it works if an unrelated computer isn't running local piece of program. Problem is, that computer has to be running that piece anyway and it makes 0 sense to have any interference between the two. Q client, who says I know this great tech who always helps out, and conferences in a support technician from my company's direct competitor. Now, this tech answered his personal phone and is clearly just walking to a desk so he can spend 10 minutes as a favor to this slightly nervous wreck of a restaurant owner. The instant this tech starts up a remote connection, problem disappears. There is absolutely no question about it. Something about him connecting to the computer fixed the issue, and he didn't do anything else. He had no time. His presence was enough. Client hangs up with some rushed and fake words of appreciation for my efforts, clearly believing me an idiot. TLDR. Technician from direct competitor is literally magic and fixed impossible issue just by showing up, making me look incompetent and useless. Yes. That one hurt a bit. You did what and it's my fault. Recently made a comment about this and I wanted to flesh it out into a story format and keep the back and forth convulse to a minimum this time around. Any names are fake or redacted. Cast, me, at $. Third-party customer tech, Tom. Underling that I outrank by 6 months. Prologue and backstory. I worked for a cloud filing cabinet and almost everyone who knew anything had quit the customer team, leaving me with less than 1 year experience in a lead role without lead pay. The company is very sink or swim with years of documentation and programs that are documented down to 1,000 separate errors that can take anywhere from 8 hours to 1 month to resolve and install. Tom has been working on an install for 3 weeks and nearly had it done after 2 weeks of effort. Just to find out that the particular install he was following along was for a defunct customer with the same name, which forced him to restart. All the while he has to have a team viewer session through a Zoom call due to security requirements by the customer's third-party IT. He worked for another week and only needed to fix some janky ODBCs and the job was done. When the unthinkable happened, day 1. I'm in the middle of trying to figure out a janked configuration that is causing CEO billing documents to go through the lower peon workflows for approval when Tom comes up to my desk, huffing and puffing with anger and literal tears rolling down his cheeks. I list off 6 or 8 reasons people that could have caused such a reaction. I'm pretty much the only person that deals with those problems due to my cynical nature that mostly made me numb to the pain. It's gone. No. What do you mean it's gone, Tom? They deleted program. No, they and $. Nuked the computer man. I get the rundown on what that $. Has done. Has been very rude for the past 3 weeks. Undoing some of Tom's work. Making Tom connect through 2 remote connections, slowing everything to a crawl. Refusing to relinquish control of the computer to Tom. Actively crap-talking Tom as he fixes a horribly complex billing program for a large company that can't pay its people. Upon getting everything set up and connected, Tom found that he no longer had any of his install files available. None of his saved configurations are available and the legacy coding is gone. He starts to freak out when at $. Just drops that the computer he'd been working on got scrapped as part of routine upgrades. Fun fact, this particular version of billing system only works on Windows 7. Bonus, that was the last Windows 7 machine in the company. But I, nor Tom, know either of these facts yet, being the brash, bold leader that I am. I tell Tom to go whine to the account managers to get that $. Off the case and explain what's going down. 1 hour later, ding, a new ticket is in your queue. Damn. Summoned by Satan himself, I find the account manager standing by my desk with a very sorry-looking face and an unopened can of caffeine in his hand. Hey, absinthe. No, come on, no, boss, do it. Me, $ plus an CEO that I forgot was on the phone. What was that? After smoothing things out with the CEO, I toss their fire in the fire and lay out a list of demands based on what I know of the situation. I only work with the machine directly, no middleman that I dictate orders to. My timeline doesn't get questioned due to the other plates I'm spinning. Third-party IT must make an effort to restore the machine. Account manager buys my lunch and dinner since I'm going to be here late into the night. Due to playing hardball and the customer not being able to pay their employees, my demands are mostly met. I'm told there's no way to get the machine back. It has been shredded, but I do get full access to the machine through third party's custom version of TeamViewer. It is admittedly very nice. Tom immediately throws a fit considering how much time was wasted beforehand due to the other ways he had to work on the machine. One of the perks of being the sickly heir of the dead king, I get to work and work. And work, and work. Too much caffeine is consumed. Unhealthy food clogs my system. But by about 2 a.m. I have the shell installed and the internal shell set up to fill with code the next day. Turns out the third-party TeamViewer only works on a 24-hour basis and I have to request new access every time, which usually takes about 6 hours before I hear back. At one point I double asked and was told to hold my horses by $. Day 2.5. Eventually I get access again in time to work on the system, transplanting ancient Frankenstein code into the right places and pointing them in the proper spots. Everything is working in the test environment. I just need to activate the license, check the ticket for license information and input it. License in use. Please decommission license from previous machine to use. And $@ call up. Program. Support. I get them to cancel the license remotely and I try to activate the license again. Error 1,098,753 AB. That's not good. A day is wasted on research and support calls, during which I find out that my company had stopped paying program support and that I was on my own. Yay for cost savings. Day 3-ish. I keep going, beating my head against this brick wall and eventually find out that the license information was for a different company and was filed in the wrong place, meaning the two companies now have brick systems. Different problem for a different tech. In doing this, I'm being a terrible person and calling program support as if I'm working on one of the other customers that still has actively paid for program support. Eventually I find out that error 1,098,753 AB is a version incompatibility between license, program, and OS. I beg and plead with program support to help me find a way get this system working, and they're being total brothers. Turns out there's an automated upgrade in version XXXA, which we are licensed to use and company has version XXXA, which can upgrade without breaking. Everything looks up until I get a call from higher up in the program billing department that had been tracking my calls and license requests. They kiboshed my dreams and said that the back pay for support had to be paid to get this upgrade $20K. I work with our accountant to purchase a new license for program, so that we don't have to deal with the back pay of unpaid support, and the request gets denied due to bill dodging. Unless my company shelled out $20K, we were unable to get the upgraded license. Meanwhile, as I'm scheming and being a dirty birdie to try and save this customer's business, it turns out that both the third-party IT and the customer had gotten mad that I couldn't pull literal magic out of their computers. Day 4. Probably too much caffeine. At $$ pulled together every email address that he could, including my CEO, the customer's CEO, the head of IT, my boss, the account manager and a group of people that I didn't know and I assumed were his bosses. Absinthe has been working on this system for a whole month and it hasn't gotten fixed. This is unacceptable for tech support. I saw red. I think I scared my coworkers as I picked up my monitor and shook it. Tom, being the paranoid guy that he is, had taken recordings of his interactions with that $, and how he had been disobeying Tom, giving him the runaround and generally being a nuisance. Tom gladly sent me a copy that I put into Dropbox and shared the link with everyone on that chain. Added was an explanation that this had almost been done at the 3-week mark when the machine suddenly went missing. And that a lot of that 3 weeks was that $, not responding to emails and then enforcing horrible connection processes that slowed us down further. That proper documentation of the machine and its code had never been stored by the third party that was decommissioning machines that were active project, and that further research had shown that decommissioning the Windows 7 machine invalidated the license and made it impossible to install without a $20K fee being paid to program company. I never got a response from that email chain. I was immediately taken off of the ticket, and I never heard from $$ again. What ended up happening was that the account manager convinced the customer to instead spend the $20K on implementing a custom solution to get them up and running, which they were desperate enough to do, even though in the end that particular blame was on us. So far as I know, the customer is still running on a much easier to support system that doesn't involve a third-party program that is an absolute $$ and to install. Edit. Fixing up the bullet points. Thanks you Beruberi. Cat sleeping on laptop equals F10 equals PIE. Just got a call from an older lady. Friend of my mom's. The cat slept on her laptop with Thunderbird open and now she's got no send button or menu bar in the send windows. Cat's right? So I'm trying to explain how she can right-click and re-enable menus, but it's gotta be in that spot in the upper part of the window where that dialog comes up. And we're on the phone, so hard to describe to someone who, well, never did that before. Then I remember the Alt F10 trick. She hits F10, after some seconds of figuring out what that is. The file menu shows up. She goes over to View and Toolbars, enables the menus and fixed. She's making me an apple pie for tomorrow. Will work for pie. The satisfaction of supporting unsupportable systems. Hey y'all, let me just start off by saying I love my job. I have a lot of freedom. I work from home, primarily on a manual ordering process for internal IT, but also on some tech support for our automated ordering portals. My company has had a problem with sunk cost fallacy for years. Instead of throwing out the trash and rebuilding something that works, they've been tacking on system upon system to patch holes in our requirements. That's how we've ended up with 4 ways of ordering internal IT stuff. A manual process involving emails, to me nowadays. An order portal, a newer order portal, and emailing service at desk. Understandably, the users are incredibly confused and rarely know where to order what. Luckily, at the start of summer last year, my boss got the approval to implement a new system from scratch which will replace all these older systems and solutions. It will also end the hard system separation between our ordering tickets and our incident tickets, allowing all vendors and service desk to work in the same system. Yay! Implementation is planned to be finished by Q2 this year, so by the end of the year we might be half done. Enough backstory. As a result of reorganization after reorganization, as well as normal career moves, every single person who worked with the backend of the oldest order portal is now gone. Additionally, there is no documentation on our specific implementation. All we have is a manual for the system itself, which while helpful is also an enormous infodump that doesn't tell us anything about our custom workflows. Because of all this, we were in a situation for a while where literally no one supported the tool. If there was an issue, shrugs were had. The team my boss heads up is responsible for it along with all the other tools like it, but they were focusing on implementing the new and replacing the old, not on keeping the old working while implementing the new. After almost burning out due to workload in the fall, I've ended up with a revised task list, my manual ordering department, and best effort support for the old order portals. For the newer, but not newest, portal, all I have to do is answer easy questions and redirect harder ones to our external consultant. For the oldest one, I have to get creative. Little to no documentation, antiquated UI, convoluted workflows, basically no handover. But hey, it's best effort support, right? If I can't figure it out, and it's urgent, we'll push to implement that feature form in our new portals, and handle it manually while waiting for that to be done. Today was my day. A form stopped working. Big panic. Chaos all around. The entire country was a war zone. I'm definitely not exaggerating. And the reality definitely wasn't that one person pinged me on Skype asking if I could look into it for them. Normally, I'd ask for a ticket. But since I'm only doing best effort support, I figured I might as well take a quick look and see if it's something I can fix quick and easy before asking for that. I like the guy that messaged me too, so he got a free pass there. Clicking around, I found the workflow. I found the XML response from the system it failed to create a ticket in. I found the error. It was trying to assign to an outdated group that was removed over Christmas. I found where that group variable is defined. I changed it. Saved. Test again? Failure. Why? Oh look, there's a deploy button I missed. What's the worst that could happen when you press unknown buttons that are named deploy in a system you haven't been trained on? That no one understands. After changing a variable that hopefully does what I want it to do, fortunately, nothing exploded. The user resubmitted again, and it worked. Problem solved. I'm a literal god. User informed me that if we end up in a bar together, he'll buy me a beer. I don't drink, and rarely leave my apartment, but it's a nice sentiment. TLDR, when you don't know what you're doing, poke at things until it works. Hope it doesn't explode. And yes, I know that I did kind of know what I'm doing. enough to understand what various terms in the UI of the tool meant and where to click to probably get it to do what I want. But still, please open any Word document, not that one. Security is done doing their things, so I feel good to post this. Some details will be changed for the sake of anonymity. Me, help desk rep for a company that works with hotels. HD, hotel director, also known as horrifically dumb. HD calls in for an unexciting and common issue with Word. It's very specific to my company, so I won't go into detail, but I have to remote in, close any Word documents he has open, and do stuff to fix it, which I do. Now for the fun part. Me, alright HD, that should take care of it. Can you go ahead and open any Word document to check that it's working now? HD, sure, any document. Me, yep, just to make sure the issue is gone. HD, opens password stock. Me, blink, blink blink, blink, mute, what the actual fuck? I was now staring at page 1 of, redacted, of a doc with passwords for computers, email accounts, and network accounts, for what I could only assume had to be everyone that works at this hotel. Now, this isn't the only hotel in the company. This is a chain of resorts and hotels. Network access is going to be for the entire company, and he had IT people's passwords in here, clearly labeled IT and IT admin about halfway down the first page. Screenshot, unmute, me, up. Alright, go ahead and do what you were doing before that caused the issue. HD, hey, looks like it's working, thanks a ton. Me, yeah. No problem. Hey, one of the things that sometimes is an issue afterwards is saving as. Can you just hit save as and make sure it doesn't error out? This is legitimate. HD, sure, no problem. He hits file, and I immediately see the password, doc and recent files and the path to it. Strike 2, it's in a Dropbox. Strike 3, our company doesn't use Dropbox. Wrapped up the call like nothing happened, since he's a director and I'm a lowly help desk rep. Hang up, call InfoSec. I'd like to say that's the story of how I got a director fired, but he actually still works here. They chewed him out and made him delete the copy on the Dropbox. Is there another copy somewhere else? Who knows? But if there is, I bet he'll think twice before opening it while someone is remoted into his machine. Thank you for watching. Daily uploads.